Let's see. Since you have a big can of tea, I'm gonna get my. What is the tea you're drinking?
Peace tea.
Peace tea. No kidding.
All naturally flavored and other natural flavors. Well, it's gonna dump some syrup in it and see.
It's like the biggest hippie drink I've ever seen. Hold on, let me see what I got.
I know.
Let me see what I got. I got a Solo cups. What I got. Dang. I'm out.
Oh no.
It's okay. There's always more. I just don't know if it's a good idea. My wife and I were celebrating tonight.
That's good. How was it? What were you celebrating? The win there or what?
Well, our son did really well.
I know. I'm wanting to hear about it.
Let me get a. That'll work. That will work. Yep. My wife and I, we've been married 20. This will be 22. So we have a 17-year-old.
Yep.
A 15-year-old. And an 11-year-old. And you find out as you get older and been married a while, you like celebrate things like on their birthday and stuff. Like, yeah. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
All right, let me turn this down a little bit so it's not like there we go.
Yeah, that's what it was for me last time. So I got better lighting out here than I do in my house too. So it just works out.
That's a great backdrop, man. That's a great backdrop.
That tank's only a quarter full. It's gonna be a long time. But
we got 11 people already. I know we're early. So if you can hear us, make sure our sound and everything's good. Can you let us know in the chat? There he is.
Oh man, Jeff, there he is.
Are you white?
Just say you celebrate my birthday.
No, my boys. Yeah, I wouldn't celebrate your birthday, honey.
I know.
No, my dad's birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
How old is he?
74.
74. Man, he doesn't look it. He does not look it at all.
Well, my dad. Well, Fred. So my dad's David, but you'll see me in videos with Fred, Ralph, some other guys. My dad, some of the earlier videos my dad's in.
Okay.
So a lot of people think Fred, Joe, Ralph are my dad. I'm cool with it. Like they kind of are.
Gotcha. Yeah. So actually, while I'm thinking about it, I stumbled upon one of your videos, and I don't was it a joke or were you serious? Where you're like, I'm being evicted, I'm selling everything. Was that real or were you just messing around? Like, I got the evaporator for sale and everything. It was pretty recent. Was that?
Yeah.
What was that? If you don't mind me asking.
Sure. Like, so the first time my eviction was my parents. We built a business in their backyard. It got too big.
Correct.
And I joke when I say eviction. The second time, it's just our facilities running out of room.
I see. That's what I figured you meant. That's why I was like, what does he say? I got evaporator for sale. I got this. I'm like, what's Nate doing now? Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. In the Facebook chat, they like took my video off because it was I was selling something. And you're not allowed to sell things on the Facebook chat. There's how many rules? There's like 10 rules. Yeah, if I keep at it, they'll have like 13, 14 rules. So
yeah, I'm not a big
way it is.
I know. I use it for my page and stuff, but it's so hard to use, and I don't know. It just the more I post, I've had some memes took down recently.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun.
You're all mapled up, dude. I tapped that.
Yeah, check that out. Things got a little spicy.
Yeah, is that from firing the evaporator?
No. Actually, it was from. I had to fix a squirrel chew, and I was putting together on the 1-inch main, and I set my torch down on the ground because I heated up. I felt down like, whoa. So,
did it get your skin?
No. I just looked down and it was pretty warm. So, no, I didn't get the skin. I have a hard time feeding wood to this here. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
You really got to shove it in there. You really gotta
mean,
make small pieces of wood to shove that in there.
you got it.
So
I did
what you
notice
got?
when I went outside, it was blowing some, it was kind of running rich. So I was trying to figure out, I'm like, and it was only on the high side. So I ended up, I got a air pumper that you stick in the stack and you do 10 pumps and it goes through a piece of white paper and it was black. And I'm like, what's going on? There's no high adjustment. The fan's wide open. So I got to thinking, I was like, I wonder if I need to defuel this or if I need to, move my nozzle in or out a little bit. So I called Tim there at Leader and was telling him, I was like, I think I got to move it in. He's like, I think you're right. He's like, try it a 1/4 inch, and go at a time. So I went a full quarter and it was on the money. I mean, I do them, but it's perfectly clean white paper now. So, and my stack temp went up 50 more degrees. So she's ripping now. I went from
So,
100 I went from
maple seed.
190 gallons an hour to 210 gallons an hour just by a 1/4 inch on the nozzle.
It's the whole science I never have to worry about.
Yeah, you're natural
Yeah,
gas, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish.
Yeah.
We
I
don't
don't
even have
wanna
it at
ever-
the road.
It cost me $3 per million BTU. I locked in, so my evaporator's like 3 million BTU. So it cost me $9 an hour to run the evaporator. It's cheap.
Wow. Yeah,
And I don't have
mine's
to call anybody. It's easy.
no. Mine's about 28.
How many gallons an hour of syrup are you making?
Well, so that's a whole nother thing right now.
Well, keep it
My
simple.
RO,
We don't need to just keep it simple. How many typically?
well, it's been about 11 and a half, 12 gallons an hour of syrup. And that's
Gotcha.
it's all because of my RO that's getting returned. Luckily, the dealer I bought it from is standing behind it and going through everything because I'll just say Lapierre is very misleading on their optimal conditions in their gallons per hour rating. We'll just leave it at that.
On the RO? Yeah, I've always been happy with mine. They've always worked pretty well.
What you have
So-
Lapierre?
Yeah. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
So
pretty
I
close.
have
yeah,
I have the Lapierre 1000, and the manual it came with was, I mean, I don't even know if you want to call it a manual, and it doesn't even list the flow on it. So I called when you're assembling it and putting the membranes in and everything, I call up to the dealer and they didn't know which way the membranes went and which way the cups faced. So they had to call Lapierre, then they ended up having to basically call Canada to find out, have it all. Basically, what it was, they had to have it translated, and so we finally figured out the flow, which way the U cups had to go for the membranes, and then we got it in, and it's not passing sugar or anything, but they rate it for 250 gallons an hour, and I'm only getting 180 gallons an hour, and they said that you can get 8% concentrate out of it with 2% sugar, and I'm putting 1.5 through, and I'm getting 3% sugar. And I have not
Interesting.
gotten anything better. So, and we've messed with the flow, we checked the rate, everything. And they replaced the high pressure pump yesterday. They came out and they thought it was the high pressure pump and everything. Took the whole thing apart, put the new high pressure pump on, did that. I'm getting like 2.8 out of it now. Like, bring the other one back. So-
if you drill some holes in that membrane, your flow rate goes way up.
Thanks, Nate.
Don't drill holes in your membrane. That was a joke.
I know this. But anyway,
So,
how's your son doing?
David, Michigan.
Yes.
Maple season. Give me the lowdown. You guys always do this thing. You're like down here. Yeah. Okay. So you're lower, upper middle, however you guys say it.
Lower central.
Lower central. Yeah.
Yep. Just
So
south of
maple
Lansing.
season. Give me a rundown. What's it looking like?
Well, did you get my video in the text message like 20 minutes ago?
I am technically illiterate, man.
Okay.
I have
The spring
I
peepers
just
are out
got
in
rid of
full
my
force.
BlackBerry. I just
Yeah.
got rid of my BlackBerry. So
The spring peepers are out full force here tonight.
Are you serious?
Full
Wow.
force, louder
Okay.
than heck. I mean, they're out
Huh.
full force. My trees have been flowered for about a week. That's
Wow.
where they're open up and they got the little white flowers, you know, not budded. Bud is when they actually put the leaf out, you know, so that's when it stops running and you get your buddy taste or whatever.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
they've been open for a week and then the
Are
spring
you
peepers are
done?
out tonight. I think
You
so.
guys done making syrup? Okay.
That's why I'm
I
saying that's why
talked
I'm sitting
to
here. That's why I'm
I
sitting
talked
here
to
running the
Andy
water.
Humphrey. I talked to
Okay.
Andy Humphrey on the way home this afternoon or evening. He's in western Wisconsin, about an hour from Minneapolis, and he's having a great season. And he said it's going to get cold again, and they're going to keep going. Ohio's warming up. I haven't talked to my guys to see where it's at, but I know the forecast doesn't look good. It's like 70 degrees. But what a lot of people don't know is if Ohio made no syrup at all, it would not change the bulk price of syrup. It just
Correct.
like we're this small, like
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things. So
Yeah.
not a lot
I,
of syrup made in Ohio in the grand scheme of things.
yeah. I think I heard at one point, I think it was like Ohio, Wisconsin, and Michigan, if they didn't produce a drop of syrup, Pennsylvania, Vermont, and all of them would still make up the
Mhm.
difference or something. I was told because there's like a
I think
percentage.
Wisconsin make more syrup than Pennsylvania by a
You think
significant
so?
margin. I know. I do. I do.
Yeah.
Wisconsin makes a lot of syrup,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of capacity in Michigan and Wisconsin. A lot of
Correct.
capacity with maple trees. So what else we got? I kind of my day is we have in Ohio something called the Maple Madness Tour, where it's a group of sugar houses across the state. You open your doors, people come in. Everybody kind of does it different. And for the first time, I went on a Maple Madness tour today. So I was able to stop in Montville, Ohio. I went to see Kevin Holey at Seldom Seen Farm.
Okay.
And then I was able to drive out to Wakeman, Ohio and see Janet and Doug Bowman at Wakeman Maple Farm. So it was kind of cool. I was off. I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Let's go see some other farms. And boy, they were
Yep.
shocked to see me walking in, I'm sure.
How was it? What were they saying? How's their season been and everything? What?
I think Kevin said he's, almost a full crop and he's only
Wow.
20 minutes from us. And
When
then
did he tap?
Janet, I don't know. He tapped later than us though. So
Really?
he did. He did. It's amazing how just, you know, not that far away, you can have a completely different season.
Yeah.
So what else we got, David? We had a few things we were going to talk about tonight. Oh, the
Yeah.
bottling company. I think we're allowed to say it since the Maple News published it. Are we allowed to say it now?
I would assume so.
Yeah. Is it safe? Am I going to get hate mail?
The whole thing's kind of silly if you ask me, but whatever. It is what it is.
I can't remember the name of the bottling company they bought.
Prestige.
Prestige. CDL bought Prestige. There's all
Prestige
sorts of
worldwide.
yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
So the deal's I think officially done. So CDL now has a bottling company. All sorts of reasons or theories. Everybody's theorizing. By the way, if anybody from CDL would like to come on our channel and talk about it, more than welcome.
Yeah.
I would, I don't have any reason to. I'd love to talk to somebody from CDL and ask them, hey, what's the plan? But I didn't read the article. I saw somebody sent me a picture that it's official.
Yeah.
But did you read the article then?
No, but you know that place you sent me for your hydrometer cup?
Yes.
CDL
Maple
bought
guy.
them too.
Yeah,
CDL
the
bought
Maple
them.
guy.
Yeah.
Wow. New Hampshire.
So I was messaging back and forth and like, sorry, CDL just bought us. We're in transition right now. I'm like, they're buying
Yeah, they were a
everything.
big Lapierre dealer out there.
Okay.
If I remember in New Hampshire.
Okay. So yeah, I was surprised. I was like, wow, CDL's on a mission.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I mean, they've done a good job. I mean,
Yeah.
setting up, company stores, superstores, whatever they call them, and it's
Yep.
pretty slick. I mean, they and the traditional maple syrup equipment historically has been, privately owned company, family,
Yeah.
and they're the dude in the area, and then everybody buys their stuff, and they would have to pay for their own tubing. There was no floor planning, so
Yeah.
somebody's using their own line of credit to buy stuff to put on the floor, and that's expensive. I know there was an equipment, dealer near us that had, so I heard like $1 million in inventory with tubing, and that adds up over time. All the stuff,
Well, yeah.
but
Just
now
think
with
what you got in your
CDL,
own sugar bush.
oh, that's true. But now with CDL owning the stores, they'll pay the folks to man the store, and oftentimes they'll lease the building from the person
Yep.
that's on the payroll, which is smart. Like,
Yeah. That's good
um,
business, really.
yeah, I mean, it's a smart practice. And then, right now there's CDL, and then there's kind of a bunch of everybody else,
Yeah.
and yeah, they've got some decisions to make and what they want to do
Yeah.
to try to keep up.
Well, there's two really good guys from CDL that have stopped by my farm multiple times and have been super helpful. As a matter of fact, I was on the phone talking with one of them today. I had some questions and stuff. Just super good guys. They really are. And when I went out there to Vermont last year for the open houses, I went to Leader, I went to LaPierre, and I went to CDL. And I wish I would have spent more time at CDL. It was that was my last stop. I wish I would have went there a lot sooner. The technology at their facility, I'm telling you, it's well above the others. I would say it's CDL, LaPierre, then Leader H2O at this point. I really would.
No kidding.
Um, and then talking with these guys from CDL, they have a good business plan. I mean, they're going to be targeting a lot of backyard small producers. So, I mean, they basically want to put one of those evaporator grill combos that they have. It's evaporator, grill, all that. They want one of them in every backyard by the sounds of it. It's,
Very cool.
pretty smart.
Don't forget D&G.
Yeah. Dominion. So that's who makes my bottling unit, and I love it. I have a water jacketed 40-gallon bottler, and the problem is just dealer around me. Tim's basically who I would go to get anything for that. That's the nearest
You got to go
dealer
across.
for me.
You got to go across Lake Michigan, take the ferry.
Yep. Oh, the ferry's down. Yeah, ferry's down, I guess.
Is it because they don't run it in the winter?
Oh, it's broken.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I knew there was. Doesn't it go across to Milwaukee?
I think so. Was it Traverse City to Milwaukee or something like that?
Yeah,
It's a little lower or something. I don't know.
but it's faster than driving, right? Or across the UP.
I go
Does anybody
so
know?
I'm low enough. I just go down and up, down and
I
around.
got you.
Right.
Chicago's awful though, dude.
Go
Chicago
south of.
traffic.
Yeah, just go south of it.
That's what everybody says, and then I feel like I add like an hour and a half.
No, just go south of it and look forward and don't look in your mirrors and just make your own path.
Cornfields. So what else we got, David?
And I want to hear about your son.
Yeah, this is a big news. So Jonathan is, he's going to the state tournament for wrestling.
That is awesome.
So he's one of the best 16 in the state of Ohio. That's pretty cool.
Wow, that is
And it
really
was
cool.
he won 4 matches yesterday to go. So he won his first match, got caught on the second match. That kid is really good. He's probably, the top 5 kids at Jonathan's weight. They say basically the top 5 kids, anybody's going to, the state champion, to win a state championship in wrestling takes a lot of luck too. Like
Okay.
there's kids that don't win state championships that may be better, but they get injured. They just get caught by somebody,
Yep.
even with boxing or any sort of, when there's a bout, sometimes you match up better with different types of wrestlers or boxers, and
Yep.
yeah, I'm excited for him. So
That's
wrestling's
really cool. That's
it's
a
a tough
lot of hard
sport.
work. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. Is there any real like cheap shots and stuff going on at that level, or is it all pretty?
Oh yeah, there's always blood, always like bloody noses. Yeah, yeah,
Just
pretty
real.
much. There's like legal punching essentially. Yeah, cross faces. I don't know how many people on here. 33 people on here. I don't know if you are a wrestler. I'd like to hear from you. I don't know if there's a lot of. Who knows?
Yeah.
There's only 300,000 high school wrestlers in the country,
Huh.
so there's not a lot of wrestlers out there. But yeah, so we'll be at the Ohio State University this weekend for
Very
the
cool.
Ohio's state high school state wrestling tournament, and yeah, we're excited.
That's cool, man.
He's earned it. He's 17. He's been wrestling for 12 years. Like that's a long time.
That is that he's got the experience,
know.
everything. He's got it. It seems like he's got everything to really make the best go. He's got the experience. He's not just getting thrown in there. He's probably got all of his moves down. You know, he's feeling confident in himself. He's probably right there at the peak to get in there.
I wouldn't mess with him. I outweigh him by 100 pounds, and I would not wrestle him. He's too dang fast.
That's good.
So yeah. So we'll be in Columbus this weekend, my wife and I, and some family. It's basically getting there is huge. You know, so it's like
Yeah.
regardless of what happens, like getting there is huge.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. You know, if he goes to 0-2, I don't care. It's still, you know,
Yep.
there's
You made
11
this
million people. 11 million people in Ohio. I'm not sure about the population of Michigan. Is it like 5 or 6? Is it like half?
Dude, I'm not even going to take a stab at it. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 6 million.
You know, that's
And then
one thing about
Wisconsin.
you, Nate. You know all these. You know so much. You really do. Like
No,
you
it's
just always know all
research.
these facts and everything. You really do. Like it's interesting. Just
Research.
talking in conversation, and we'll go off on this tangent, and you know all these facts and stuff. It's pretty cool. I mean, you
Yeah, you get so
well
when you're in the
diversified.
weeds, making syrup, and you know, I don't know. As you think bigger picture, I think sometimes like, you know, transportation, you know, logistics of syrup. Like I'm really evaluating rail. You can fit 7 semi truck loads of maple syrup on one rail car. So, and it's like half the price, and it's not much slower.
Yeah.
So we're looking for rail, like rail access in the Maple Belt in certain parts of the Maple Belt, because if you can reduce the cost of freight,
Yeah.
then you can reduce the cost to the customer, and if you can
Yeah.
reduce the cost of the customer, then you can have a competitive advantage. So no one's
Yeah.
using rail to move syrup around, but they did all the time. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
Well,
Rail was
everything used to
used.
be rail.
Yeah. Yeah, rail was they used to move a lot of rail to syrup by rail to Reynolds Maple. It was Maple Syrup Company in Wisconsin. And at one point, I've heard it was one of the largest, if not the largest, maple syrup company in the world, because they had contracts with General Mills. So a lot of the a lot of the maple syrup, or I'm sorry, a lot of the table syrup, the fake syrup, used maple syrup as part of their ingredient package.
I see.
So log cabin, whoever, it was
Yeah.
10 million in Michigan. I'm shocked. Huh. So Michigan's closer to Ohio than I thought, because Pennsylvania's 12 million, Ohio's 11 million, and Michigan, I did not know it was 10 million people. Wow. Thanks, Chris. Thank you. So yeah, moving. Where was I on that? Help me out.
What's
Somebody
that?
got us the information. Help me out. Where was I?
We were talking about the rail and the General Mills
Oh,
contract.
Reynolds. Yeah, they had the
Yep.
contract, so they would move a lot of syrup to General Mills for a lot of the artificial pancake syrups. It was a large volume, but I heard a story that even in Somerset County, Pennsylvania, which is almost in Maryland, 20s, 30s, the farmers would go to the rail yard in Myersdale, Pennsylvania, and they would take their crop on a buy day, and then that choo-choo train would take it all the way up to Wisconsin, and syrup was moved around quite a bit by rail.
Wow. Well, just
And
look at all these old little towns that are around, that had the granaries and the elevators, and they're gone. And then
right.
the tracks are gone even, you can see the old railroad beds and stuff. I mean, that's how it used to be. That's really what built
We're fortunate.
America.
We have a rail spur that comes right into Jefferson. And I have a friend that owns property right next to it with a rail spur. So we're just evaluating cost, logistics.
Yeah.
If we can move syrup around lower cost, then, does anyone think diesel's going to be going down in price over the long haul? I don't.
Probably not.
And how do they move corn, soybean? I mean, rail is so much more efficient than anything else as
Yeah.
far as cost.
Yep.
It's like
Most
one
certainly.
gallon of diesel fuel. There's all sorts of calculations you can look up how much weight 1 gallon of diesel fuel will move 1,000,000 pounds by rail. It's totally different.
I see. Interesting. Very, very interesting topic.
Good
You're always
question,
thinking
Mitch.
outside the
So,
box.
Mitch is a Jefferson guy. Went to high school with Mitch and his sister. They, yes, it is active. That rail spur, because the next county over does not have any rail. So Geauga County doesn't have rail access. And they have a huge plastics business down in the Amish country. So there's places that make like flower pots. And what they do is they bring in rail cars of plastic beads, and they'll park it in Jefferson where we're located, and they'll truck plastic down to the next county over because it's actually lower cost to get a rail car of plastic beads than it is to haul semi trucks from Texas. A lot of the plastic comes from Texas where there's oil refineries. So they'll haul it up from Texas, and it's a lot lower cost to haul plastic in a rail car than it is in a semi truck.
Yeah.
And
Makes
then
sense.
that's kind of what we're looking at. So I didn't come up with this. I'm just like, well, if it works for every freaking other industry,
Yeah.
But it's access from the farmer to the rail yard. That's what we're working on. Like, how do you get it from the farm
Yeah.
to the rail? Do you have a depot there and just a guy with a straight truck that can haul 30,000 pounds just going out to the farms, bringing it into a warehouse and then moving it to the rail yard, or, moving it onto the rail car?
That's what they do at the grain elevators.
Yeah.
Each farmer hauls in his
Farmers
grain.
bring it
dumps
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. The farmers are definitely hauling the corn and soybean to
To the elevator.
to the elevators for
Yeah.
sure.
That's exactly what they're doing.
So anybody who's thinking about expansion in their maple operation, and if you make a semi truck load of syrup, you should have a dock. It's you should.
Yeah.
The loading dock, if I'm making a decision, hey, do I want to buy syrup from this place, this place, this place? I got retired guys running a truck. What do you think's easier for them? They're going to back up to a loading dock, put the syrup in, head home. A 1 hour load time as opposed to a 4 hour load time messing around with a tractor bucket doing this job because it's not self-leveling and it's dangerous and takes 4 hours and in the snow. It's,
That sounds fun. Come on, Nate.
It's the most underrated thing in the maple industry is a dock. And
your
I didn't
factory
even
probably
appreciate
came right with one. You didn't even have to put one in, did you?
And honestly, I didn't think about it when we bought the place, but now that I think about it, it's like that probably is one of the most valuable things is access for trucks.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
we got 40 people on here. Any questions for David and I? We're talking maple. I'm curious how the maple season's going in other areas. I was in Vermont last weekend or last week. No, it was this week.
Yeah. Dude, you've been getting around. Like you've been putting on the miles.
I have. In a good way.
Yes.
Leaving my team alone. The more I'm traveling, the better. So the more I'm traveling, the better. So it's true. It's true. For their health and mental health, yeah. So yeah, the more I'm traveling. So we got people, where's everybody from? I see some Jefferson people, Jeff's from Ohio. Chris is, I'm guessing, Michigan, since he knew the stats.
Yeah, I was talking to
Oh,
a guy over there in Vermont, and he's saying that their sugar content is the lowest it's been in years, and they're having trouble even getting enough to fire up their ROs and all this stuff. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I was
really?
really shocked to hear that. That was in the Heartland area.
There is 2 feet of snow in New Brunswick. Last I talked to a friend of mine in New Brunswick.
Wow.
So Alden's from Vermont. What do you have for weather out there, Alden? What are you hearing? Chris, I can't Google. I'm using my
I just
phone to
Googled.
do. I like
Nice.
it. Nate, go to Michigan. What does that mean? I'm a Buckeye.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, you mean to do a video? Is that what they mean? Is that what you mean, Dominic?
Yeah.
To meet with
Oh,
other maple
Dominic?
farmers? and do a
Wait
video?
a second. I'm trying to look. That's my buddy. It's me. Yeah. You idiot.
So 4 words. Nate, go to Michigan for what? I need a little more info.
He probably wants you to come here.
I would. Heck yeah.
See,
I took
my
video
little
today of
podunk
the maple
setup.
operations I went to today. I'm going to make an episode with the 2 Ohio farms that were on the Maple Madness tour. It'll be cool. Like
Yeah.
show different things. Not
Yep.
one maple farm to go to is the same. That's for
No,
sure.
I think I was talking to you about this or mentioned it. I'm wanting to go to the same thing, like kind of start around home and then kind of expand out and just go to everybody's sugar bush and do like a cribs, a sugar bush cribs type thing, I think it'd be cool, just you can always pick up something, wherever you go.
David, isn't that what I'm doing? Kind of. Is that
Yeah.
kind of what I'm doing?
Yeah, I guess you are. You really are. Yeah.
By
That's fair.
accident.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. You're going to the big guys, though.
And little. I don't listen. If somebody wants me to make a video about their maple operation, just let me know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thomas, where are you at? Southeast
season
Michigan.
is
So
done.
same weather that you're getting, David.
Yep. Yeah, the spring peepers are out, and every
Southeast
time that
Michigan.
happens, it's over.
Southeast Michigan, that's Detroit, right?
Yeah, somewhere in that general area. He could even be like Grass Lake or something, even
Gotcha.
Chelsea.
Nice. So yeah.
My
else
season
we
is
got?
done. I need to.
The place I was at today is pulling taps. I tasted the syrup right off the evaporator and it was still prime grade. It was good. I think with guys with buckets and stuff, they were just like, the trees are out in the open.
What'd you think of my check valve comparison that I did?
I love it. Explain to everybody what
Okay,
What you
I did
did.
end up doing a video on it, like you suggested.
Oh yeah.
I just gotta
Teach.
do it. So what I did, because I'm skeptical and plus I also want to learn, and see, I kind of have to see it for myself type guy, So
Sure.
I did a Woods that's got like 230 taps on it, and I didn't use check valve spiles. And then I got a Woods that has around 200, 190 taps on it that I use the check valve spiles on. Same pumps, same system, same taps per lateral for the most part, all the stuff, So I got it pretty as close as you can get to comparison. They're not too far apart, even the whole 9. And the other day when I went there, after we went through the 70-degree, it not running for 4 days, all this stuff, one tank had 20 gallons in it. And the one down the road with the check valves and everything had it was almost 90 gallons in it. And
So
still
it was
running.
4 times.
Yeah. So right there.
Same age, same guzzlers. Is that what you're using?
Yep. Same guzzlers, tapped the same day. Well, and that's another thing. The one that had more sap has about 30 or 40 less taps on it as well.
How about the age of tubing between the two?
The one tubing is a year old and the other one is this year.
So which one's which?
So the one with less and the no check valves is last year's.
And then you
So
have
the one
new
with the check
tubing.
valves is new. Yep. So that's new tubing, check valve on the one woods, and then 1-year-old tubing, no check valves on the other. But I
So
do
that
at
would
the end
be
of the season flush with my RO permeate. I flush the whole
sure,
thing and do that.
but
So
that would be a variable, right? Like
it
1-year-old
is.
tubing versus
Yeah,
new.
that's true. That is a variable.
So could have more micro leaks. I mean, that's just
Yeah, I mean that's probably not. So what I did is I spent the most time I've ever spent in the woods this year. I got the sap spice from Jeff and then put it on there. Have my phone, and then I ended up putting gauges at the end of all my lines, and then I put valves, and I'd shut the valve, and I'd sit there and watch that gauge for a minute, and if it didn't move, we're good. And then I kept going down, so I had a pretty tight system. And if there was even a nick or something, I'd end up changing the drop or whatever because I am on the sap guzzlers. They don't like any sort of leak. I was
sure.
pulling at the pump, I was pulling about 27, 28 inches per the gauge and the sap spy. And then at the end of the one line, I was like 24, 25.
With
That's
the
that's not
with the guzzler.
with the guzzler single.
Oh,
Yeah. And then out back where I got the double guzzler and about 750, 800 taps. I was about the same 27 inches at the pump. Then at the farthest lines out, because I got 2 1-inch mains that come off of that, and then 3/4 inch mains that come off with all the laterals. I was around 18, 19 on the ends of those. So,
so these guzzlers, Fred and I were talking about it.
yep,
They're simple. They actually are both a vacuum and a pump,
correct,
right?
correct.
So they'll pull and push.
Yep.
For an operation with tubing and it's tough to beat that.
It is, and it's simple, this is basically last year I had those 200 taps over there we were just talking about on tubing and a guzzler. That was my first tubing I ever installed. And now this year I've went to all tubing and I'm kind of getting into vacuum. I would like high vacuum eventually, but it's stepping stones. The affordability alone and the simplicity and the learning curve, and you add all this stuff together, they're hard to beat.
How much is a guzzler?
So
Like how much?
a single one's around $800. A double one, if you do the 110-volt double, it's like 1,600, 1,500 in there.
Is it a double because you put them in parallel or series?
Nope. So this one so the singles, they got a pump. Go grab one. They're in the back of my truck. The double has one on each side and it's got a double piston and it's got like a cam on it. So it goes like this. So you're getting one's pushing, one's pulling like this. So it's got double intakes. A single one just goes up and down, just like a regular push, pull, push, pull.
Gotcha. So
The
it's
new
like,
diaphragms they
is
have
it
are a lot
twice the
better.
volume? Is that when you say double?
Yes, correct. So a
It's for
single
more
guzzler,
taps.
yeah, a single guzzler is rated for about 400 taps. The double's rated for 800, and they actually got a quad now that I think was rated for like how much? 1,800 taps. So here, this is my little box I got made up here. See if
Huh.
So
That's a single.
I take these boxes out every night, if it's gonna freeze or whatever it stops running. This one here is
Sure.
24 volt, and I put it on a solar panel.
No kidding.
Yeah, the solar panel and two batteries in parallel, 200 cranking at 12 volts. I put them in parallel and then turn that thing on. It'll go like 48 hours.
Really?
Yeah, Nate, I'm telling you, they're so simple. And
Bosworth's an amazing company.
and yeah, Bosworth has been, if there's a question or a problem or issue, dude, they actually pick up the phone and talk to you I mean,
Yeah.
they've been great, Nate. Like, I don't have one bad thing to say about them. I don't.
So a single
Oh.
does 400 taps. How much is a single about?
400. It's rated
What
up
is
to 400.
what's the investment in one of those?
800 for the single.
All right, and the double is it 1200?
14.
Gotcha. So you save a little bit.
Yep. And then there's different, like, they got a 24-volt double pump, and I think the 24-volt one is closer to 2000 because it's a little different. The 110 version is the 1500, I think.
Yeah, I
But man,
wouldn't.
they're
If
just
I
so
used
simple.
a guzzler, I would absolutely use check spout adapters.
And that's what that's why, because I shut them off. And, if you were to have a failure of a diaphragm, like right here, there's check valve diaphragms right here. So it doesn't allow the fluid to come back, it allows it to just push it through one way, if that makes sense. If one of those
So-
fail,
So when it's pulling and that check valve stops,
yep,
I would
it pushes
imagine-
out the end.
so every tree becomes like a vacuum chamber if you're pulling good vacuum. So if
Correct.
you're not constantly pulling, and as soon as you stop that vacuum, the tree is like a vacuum chamber. It'll want to suck sap back in. And
Correct.
it's so slight, even with mechanical releasers, which we have in our small section, every time it dumps and changes,
Yep.
it builds so much vacuum in the trees that when it changes chambers, that little bit, you can actually watch that ball go boop.
Yeah. Yep. I've tried
Like
it. So last
it's a
year,
little bit. It's a little bit, but
la-
it does
well,
move.
even then this year, so when I go to remove this pump off of the road where I have the no check valve spiles, when I would unhook this from the main line, dude, it would like the whole main line would shake and you can hear the air just I mean, if you put your hand over it, it would I mean the back them trees have
Yeah.
a lot of pressure. So and then you're doing that and you're watching the main line jump because
Negative
of all the
pressure.
air and
It's
the pressure.
pressure. It's pressure, but negative pressure, right?
Correct. So, but then the one that I would disconnect from the check valve spiles, it didn't do it at all. And I'm like, they're working. It was awesome.
There
Because
you
it's
go.
not-
That's actually
Yeah.
that would be a good short. That would be it. That'd be it.
Might have to
Are
wait
you
till
guys
next
done?
year.
Are you starting to are you done? You're pulling your stuff?
So
Getting
here's what
ready?
I'm gonna do. They changed the weather again, literally within the last like 14 hours from when I checked it. 14 hours ago, it was 70, 60, 40s at night. Now it is like 33, 34. It's right in there. But Saturday and what is it? Friday night and Saturday night is 28 and 29. So I think we're gonna.
That's
So
awesome.
I have not made. This is the darkest syrup I've made this season.
Wow.
That's the darkest I've made, and it's still got good flavor. So as you know, I got the barbecue food truck. Well, I'm gonna try to make some dark syrup for my barbecue
Heck yeah, man.
because
Heck yeah.
so this is a little personal, but I don't really care. It is what it is. I was hoping to make around 700 gallons of syrup this year. I was projected to that, and that was kind of the conservative side of it. I am at 185 gallons as we speak, but I got
You need more syrup, bud.
this is a horrible season here. I should have tapped in January. And if these check valves really work and all this, I have a lot of questions I'm going to be asking when I go to Vermont here in a month. And then watching your video the other night, I think if the weather's running, if it's the weather we need, whether it's January, February, whatever it is, I think I'm going to tap.
So how many taps total, David?
For me, I'm right around 1,200, but I'm boiling
Okay.
for about 2,000.
Oh, okay. Because when you said you wanted 700 gallons of syrup,
Yeah,
you were hoping to make a little less than half a gallon per tap on 2,000 taps,
correct.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I thought that was very achievable because I actually
Yeah.
have 3 to 4 taps per lateral.
That's really good.
That's what I
really
did.
good.
I just
Now, if I'm correct, you couldn't really tap earlier because the tubing wasn't done.
correct.
All right, all right.
I
So
thought we were gonna
really,
have a
it's
normal
not
year.
the
I was right
maple.
on schedule for a normal season. We just didn't have a normal season.
So is it possible that if you had everything in time, that it wouldn't necessarily be the season, but maybe David Hughes wasn't ready? Maybe. Listen, I'm the
I
hood
still probably would have
ornamenters.
tapped when I did, to be honest. To be
Really?
completely
Why?
honest, I would have. Just because, I mean, I'm kind of with Tim. Like, Tim's been pretty influential on me, and and there's a lot of old timers around here by me, and they have all these sayings and these quirks. I mean, they've been doing this stuff for 70 years. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here, Nate. I'm not. Um, I still think, tapping, you know, m- middle of February is pretty early generally. And I tapped the 16th, but I'm kind of changing after this season. I'm kind of changing that.
I wish I tapped in December.
Well, the guys in Vermont have the one I was talking to, and as I was talking to him, I was like, "How have your taps dried up and this and that?" But it's hard to compare to because they're 50,000 taps. So 50,000 taps tapping that early, they have to get a start early. They have to,
Yeah.
and are they losing production? Not they leave their vacuum on 24/7 from the first tap goes in, it never shuts off. But and
I
I'm
was
on,
talking to
the tap
Nick.
guzzlers.
I was talking to Nick at Georgia Mountain last year, and he said the stuff that he tapped in December
Oh, I
was the
lost you.
last stuff.
There you go.
Is my feed gone?
Yeah, you're cutting
Here.
out bad.
Let me switch over to, I don't know why I didn't, but let's see if this will work.
There you go. You're back.
I just put the Wi-Fi on. I was working off of the cellular tower. Hopefully it'll work. Am I here?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. I put it on the actual Wi-Fi.
There you
So
go.
Nick was telling me at Georgia Mountain that he tapped in December. This was last year or the year before. And the stuff he tapped in December was the last stuff to run, meaning those taps ran last.
So speaking of
The more we
December or
think we
November,
know, the more we realize we don't know.
sometimes we're our own worst enemies or we overthink. And I'm an overthinker. I'm pretty particular. I overthink. I want stuff to kind of be a certain way, but I am also open to things at the same time. And if I can see it or try it, but I definitely, the end of November, beginning of December here, we had perfect sap weather, but I've heard that the sugar content isn't worth a hoot that time, you know? But is it or is it not? Because we started out the season super low, and I think it's just because it's ran so many times. It's just not. It's already passed. It's there. It's up the tree.
Yep. Fred had no experience in maple when he came to work with us. And my dad and I, my dad's been doing it longer than me. And I'm like reading Maple Trader, early on, learning from all the Maple Trader guys. And, dad and I are duking it out. And Fred, the first season, he didn't really say anything because he didn't know. And the second season, he goes, hey, you guys ever think about tapping, before the maple season starts? Here's an outsider who's just
Yeah,
looking. He doesn't know. And it
yeah.
was like, oh my gosh, we're arguing over what we think's right. And here's an outsider who knows nothing about maple. And he goes, you ever guys, think about tapping before the season starts? And it was like my dad was President's Day. That was his thing.
Okay.
We had never tapped in January. And now I can't believe I'm saying it, but we should be tapping, before Christmas. So
How many taps do you have, Nate?
we have 8,500.
Okay.
2,000 are decent. 6,500. Well, no, about 500 are decent. I need to probably replace 8,000 taps. And I'm just like, Why? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And
So-
some people
so-
are like, Nate, you shouldn't even make syrup. And I'm like, yeah. I just like it. It's fun.
So, what's your opinion on changing spiles every season and changing drops every 3 years? And is that a marketing genius or is it really have effect on certain things? Like, what's your opinion on that?
Well, first I'll say my opinion means nothing. That's the first thing I'll say. But after talking to guys like Dan Crocker, who hasn't changed drop lines in 11 years,
There you go.
he uses stubbies. But remember, don't take one data point and say that's the rule. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want to have an opinion, and then we go find all the data that supports our opinion.
Yeah.
It may just, I've heard he has a south-facing, mountain. So,
Yep.
and
Lots
he
of
has
sun.
he has really his tubing and control and management of his tubing. Like sap does not sit in the lines.
In line.
So he's like stubbies, 42-inch drops.
42.
Yep. So
okay.
so he can get anywhere on the tree.
Yep.
He does not run any tubing on the north side of the trees. So if it's on the north side,
I
it
made
could
a
freeze.
video about that. Did you see that short I did like a week or
I
two ago?
didn't.
Yeah, I
didn't.
actually did a
I'll be
short on
honest,
that.
It's hard for me to watch YouTube channels, honestly.
No,
It
I get
really
it.
is. And as much as we get excited about our videos, I think it took me about a year to stop asking my mom if she watched them because she would like start them and like not watch them and and then people I have friends, you have a channel, I have a channel, like
Yeah.
I'm not offended if you don't watch them and
Me
we're
neither.
busy. It's like a second
yeah.
job. It's a
Yep.
second job. Like how do you work 2 full-time jobs and then
Yeah.
have time? And let's be honest, if you're watching YouTube, are you watching Maple? Like, is there stuff that you like? I like a couple channels that have nothing to do with Maple,
Yeah.
and it's just to like watch something else.
Yeah. It's deer hunting or maple for me pretty much. But I can't shut my brain off at night. It takes me 2 hours to fall asleep. If I fall asleep. So YouTube, I usually fall asleep and the phone hits me in the face type thing, at 4 in the morning or something. I can't ever shut my brain down. Oh, there's one more thing I needed to do, or did I do that? Did I turn the valve off? Did I do? Yeah. Then you add deer season into it, and then it gets really bad.
So I see. I mean, I know. Tim's boiling. I think Jeff's boiling.
Yep.
Yeah, they have some. It's hard to read the comments sometimes while you're. How easy is it for you to see comments, David, doing this?
I got to really get close here and see. Okay. I'm just on my phone here. It's not like the laptop with Tim here, so don't want us to tap before March 1st.
The haters.
Jeff,
Yeah.
I'd reconsider David. Be ready to drill the hole and go mid-January. Wait, yeah. With the amount of taps I have, I think what it take us a day and a half. It wasn't because I bought that precision tapper.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm telling you, I love that thing. I don't care what anybody says. That thing was so fat. You don't even have to think, Nate. You don't even think about it. You just wide open, boom, boom. Yeah, this thing right here. Before it take you, you'd have, you're sitting there as I'm walking up to the tree, I'm looking, and then I just wide open.
David, hold that thing up. Hold that thing up. Is there any play? Hold it sideways. Is there any play? I know that slides in there. Is there any play, or is
No.
it like there's no play?
No. But it
I
definitely.
like how that spring, is it pretty powerful? Like it really.
Oh, dude,
pushes
here.
Gotcha.
It is. And that's what I'm saying. I walk up to the tree, I see where I'm at, wide open, hit it, and then I just kind of relax and it just pushes it straight off, pulls all the chips out. I've never had more perfect, round, clean hole. I mean, I'm telling you, I would buy that thing 10 times over.
When I first started tapping, I didn't even have a stop on the bit. So you get these bits that are this long and you're like, I don't want to go too far in. So you don't realize how much energy you use stopping your drill from,
Yeah.
going in.
No,
I mean, we
you're
had to
exactly right.
laugh when we first heard Glenn Goodrich talking about oval holes and about how when you put the bit on the tree and then start the drill, that just putting it on the tree and starting the drill, that just that jerking motion
Yeah.
would make a potential oval.
Yeah.
And and Dad and I are just like were like
Yeah.
cleaning them out, like
Remus.
little bit of tree, a little bit of that
Oh yeah.
wood shave, there's wood shavings in there, we're like reaming the holes out. It's
We all did it.
yeah, Glenn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like of course I wouldn't do that. And
Yeah, but were you even
I've
on
never
vacuum
broken
then,
a
though?
hydrometer either. Yeah.
Yeah, I better knock on some wood. We made it through the whole season. We didn't
No
break one.
kidding.
Yeah. Well, we only boiled 6 times, so woo. Or find the precision tapper CDL.
Oh yeah.
Yep, CDL makes those. You have to get one for your drill if you got a DeWalt or Milwaukee. They'll ask you that because the thread's different. And there's an adapter. You have to obviously remove the chuck and do all that. So but I'm telling you, man, it's super light. So you were talking about liters, the exact tap or whatever
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
So the thing I complain about that is it's big, bulky, klutzy, and it's heavy. This thing is, you don't even know it's on there. I wish I had a scale to actually weigh it. It is so light. And then my drill's got this clip right here. So as I'm going, I don't even have to think about it. I mean, it just clips right on. I just set it right down. After I did it, I grab my hammer, tap, onto the next one, pull it. I mean, you just don't even, it's so fast. I'm telling you.
Kevin,
Love it.
Kevin does our boiling for us. If you want to know how our maple season's going, don't ask me because I have no idea. Kevin's on here. He does all our boiling, and he said he only broke 2 hydrometers since he started boiling. How many years is that, Kevin? Is that that's 5 years? So if a maple farmer says they've only broken 2 hydrometers, I'm pretty sure there's a rule you have to multiply by 3.
Well, my buddy that's over here is helping me tonight. Last year we were on the last boil, and he managed to break 2 in less than 10 minutes.
I think it's because you're tired, right?
I'm like,
There's a certain
come
point where
on,
you're
we're
just
down to
tired.
one more. Last boil.
It was like 2 o'clock in the morning.
It was like 2
That's
o'clock in the
fair.
morning. That's what we were on a 2x6 making 373 gallons. So, yeah,
I came to the realization this year, I've been actively involved with making syrup for over 20 years, and this,
that's cool.
my whole goal was to, I live vicariously through Kevin. I don't have the time to do everything that I love, or I just don't. So I get to live vicariously through Kevin and Austin. And yeah, I don't have I wish.
Have you basically taken the marketing end of everything then? Like you're out there marketing and that's why you don't have the time? Like you're out there having to get the stores lined up and stuff. Is that why you don't have the time basically? Is you're out there prospecting and everything, or is it more?
No, this is a good topic though. This is a good
Yeah.
topic. Because you and I were texting with Tim, I want to be in one of Tim's skits as the evil packer counting his money, smoking the cigar, counting my money. It's
Nice.
one of my goals is to be in a Maple Dude skit as the evil packer.
Nice.
But the things I'm working on, I got to deal with. We have a new bank that is willing to work with us on the growth side. So you would be shocked how much time there is in meeting with bankers.
No, I wouldn't.
I guess I'm even with the rail travel. If I'm making syrup in my sugar house, I'm not in Vermont or New Hampshire, checking with farmers. Oh, this is nice. That's nice. That's
We
really
got our
nice.
first roll.
No, I think this is the second one.
Oh,
This is
okay. Well, I haven't.
That's really nice. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add Kevin as a moderator.
There you
That's
go.
what I'm going to do. We're going to add Kevin as a moderator. I didn't know I could do that. I was looking. You have all the power, Kevin.
This is going pretty smooth compared to the first one.
So I'll remove this one. I didn't realize, like, this is my first experience. I guess when you make something that looks like Snapchat, you make like that, the Snapchat logo look like,
Yeah.
I guess
Dude,
listen, it's public. You're gonna
Yeah.
get people.
Yep.
I did. Kevin, you have all the power. I'm pretty sure I just said give him all the power.
There you go. Perfect.
So he could probably like order pizzas and stuff with my credit card at this point. And if he did, I'd be all right with it.
There you go.
Yep, you're a moderator, Kevin. Forever and ever, amen.
Are you doing
Yep.
Q&A? Yeah. Oh, wait. That's the... Oh, never
I
mind.
thought I got rid of this dude.
Yeah, no.
Attaboy. Attaboy. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Yeah, it's amazing how much time is taken up with that. I had no idea.
Where do you guys tap trees? Nate's in Ohio. I'm in Michigan. Is that what he means?
Maybe. In the woods. In the woods. We got to get rid of this guy. He's amazing. He's like an ant. I'm going to do this. I'm going to hide user from the channel. He gave him a timeout.
All in. I was going to do food truck and maple. And I'm real short of where I wanted to be.
How much of it is your fault?
I'm going to say 20%. I'm going to say 20%. If you want me to be real honest. I'm telling you, I still think I would have tapped when I did. I really
But
do.
you still would have been wrong.
Yeah, still would have been wrong.
This is go on. My son's cat. We almost got a visit.
When did you tap the Nate?
I have no idea.
No idea.
No. Kevin, when did we tap?
Yep. Kevin, when we tap.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Or start tapping, I guess.
Randy,
How long
just
does it take you to
stumbled-
tap? Does it take you a week, 2 weeks?
You mean how long does it take Austin to tap?
Sure.
Yes.
I love
Yep.
you, Nate.
Yep. Yes, Jonathan did make it to States. So for those of you who haven't been on here, Jonathan did make it. He had some amazing matches with some really good wrestlers. He ended 3 seniors' careers yesterday. So yeah, he did make it to States. So my son is one of the
Somebody's
best.
got to do it.
Look at my cat. Unbelievable. Come on.
What's the cat's name?
This is hilarious. My wife
That is
doesn't.
a tank. That cat is a tank.
Yeah, his name was Chief Kumar because I wanted an Indian.
I see.
Yeah. I'm not that yeah. But when they took him to the vet, they changed his name to Buddy Chief. So his name is Buddy Chief.
I see.
But I think Chief Kumar is hilarious.
Yes. Well, my daughter named her cat Jim, like a diamond gemstone.
Oh,
So
I
everybody's
thought,
like,
I thought it
"What?"
was James. It sounded like James there for a second.
Yeah, it's like people come over like, who's Jim? No, like Jim. So it's always like,
Like
why'd
a
you name
Ruby.
the cat Jim? It's like, no, Jim, like the
I like it.
I
Like
do
James
too.
T. Kirk.
And then the other cat that I think the coyote got was Appleseed.
That was the cat's
That
name?
she named the cat Appleseed.
So Randy
So-
just asked. So Randy, how'd you find us? So Randy, he just said he stumbled across the chat here.
He's Wisconsin.
Jeez, oh man. I can't. It's a full-time job.
It's because of the
Maybe-
platform, Nate. Like that's why I don't think Tim has the issues. You know, this is an open platform. I think it's just YouTube.
Yeah,
in
but
general.
he's using YouTube, right?
Yeah, but it's through the what was it, Duck something or what? I can't remember what it was. But I think that prevents a lot of it or something. I think it can block that out.
Interesting. Or maybe we're just so popular that we have to deal with it.
There you go.
Cool. Well, I'm about done. It's been a long
Yep.
weekend.
Yep,
David,
I get
thank
it.
you.
thank
Next
you, Nate.
weekend on Sunday. So I'm going to try to do guests almost every Sunday.
Yep.
So talk to Jeff from SAP Spy. I wanted to get him on, and I'm going to try to do, it's like Maple Joe Rogan. That's what
Yeah,
that's kind of
I
what I'm
like that.
hoping here.
I've
Ask
been wanting to
questions.
start. I kind of wanted to do a podcast. That's kind of what we're doing is like a video podcast type thing. So I think you're on the right path. You know, something as you're driving just to listen to or whatever, more laid back like this, and I guess we can probably get a little more organized with it and get some topics down. With me and my ADD, we can jump around all over through here. So maybe I'll start
Oh, yeah.
writing. If I think of something, I'll write some notes throughout the week or something that we can hit on.
So next Sunday, or a week from today,
Yep.
I'm not sure. I'm going to be in Columbus. I'm not sure I'll be able to do anything. If I do, it's from a hotel room.
That's fine.
Yeah. So next Sunday, hope to have Jeff. I've reached out to some other folks. Let's see, who have I reached out? Well, I don't want to embarrass anybody, but I've reached out to some folks. They know who
Yeah.
they are. And
Are we
I'm
gonna
open to
do one with
talking
Tim
to-
tomorrow?
What's that?
Are we doing one with Tim tomorrow still?
If he can, I'm open to it.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so. I think he is because he's boiling right now, obviously.
Yep. So I'm open to doing that. Scott Dunn, he was born tonight. So,
Dude,
he
yep, I
talked
did
this
see
morning.
that.
He called me at like 8 a.m. He's like, I can't do it. I
Can't
can't
do
do it. I got to boil. No
Yep.
problem.
I almost reached out to him before we got on here, and then I went and happened to see just on my Facebook, it popped up real quick and it said, hour ago, getting low to sap. I was like, I'm not even gonna call him. I already know. Yep.
Yep. And you guys all use SAP Spy.
We
You
do.
use SAP
And then like
Spy.
right now,
Scott does.
see, I got the LED right here watching. My tank's almost full actually, so this has worked out good. So I'll be able
So
to.
it has a SAP level monitor.
Yeah, here.
I'm going to have to do some research before I, talk to Jeff.
All right, let's see here.
Very cool. Wow.
It is the best investment in here because obviously I can stand right over here at my evaporator by myself because I'm by myself 80% of the time. I can, I got my auto draw right here. My filter press and everything is all right here. I can put it right in the barrel. I'm standing in one spot watching everything, and all I have to do is just look right up and I can see how much is in my tank to know because I lose head pressure when I get down to about 8 inches, and I pretty much have to go back there and just unhook the float and just let it
I got
flow
you.
right in. So I look
So-
right up there and know what percentage at and everything. So
David, is there a sensor in the tank that then
Yeah.
is mirrored by the LEDs?
correct. It's basically it's a pressure sensor. It just sits down there in the bottom, and it takes the pressure of the wall, the head pressure basically, and tells you gotta right here. You gotta take the cover off and enter how many inches your tank is and everything. Hopefully you can see that well enough. I have it way up there, but when you get it, you gotta just calibrate it to your tank depth and everything and what you want, and then I don't know if you'll be able to see that sensor in here or not. Let's see if we can. But it's just a silver little pressure sensor. just gonna pull it right out here.
That's it?
That's it. It just goes right, you just drop it right down in your tank.
No kidding.
I'm gonna set it on there real slow, but you can see that tank, I mean, it's dead accurate too. I mean, there is
It's impressive.
no, it is. Don't ask me how it works, that's a Jeff question, but.
That's
there's,
really cool. There's the RO.
yeah, not happy with that thing. At least they're standing behind it and they're gonna make it right, but it is nowhere near 8%. There's guys with RO buckets getting 10% in one pass.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
It takes them an hour to get a gallon, but they do it.
I don't know. I just
Listen, the RO bucket, if I tell everybody that boils on chafing dishes and, how can I get more, get an RO bucket. I wouldn't even monkey around. I don't care if I would have 10 taps on buckets, I'd still run a little RO.
Yep. Yeah, they're worth their weight in gold, man. They really are.
So what is
And-
this question? This is an interesting question. Nate, you got to start a campaign to get producers across the U.S. to be making the correct level invert syrup for candy and sugar making so the
Oh.
sugar market can continue to grow.
Yep.
What
So I
does
know
that mean?
you don't know what that means?
No.
So, all right. So every sugar bush is very different, obviously. A lot of people that tap exclusively hard maples have a very high invert sugar and it won't crystallize and make a candy or a sugar. So me being primarily soft maples, I'll have people like a big producer like you, say you had all hard maple, you would buy from me and blend my soft maple with you to get your invert sugar level. So if you've struggled making sugar, Nate, with your setup and stuff, and it's just a different consistency, like a brown sugar consistency, that's a high invert sugar. You could blend that with a low invert sugar to get it down. You want it no higher than like 0.15 or something like that. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong there. What was that? CH or whatever. But it's under. You want to use under 0.4. Like that's the max. And a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people have high invert. So I actually have checked mine, and because I'm soft maple, I have low. So I can actually make sugar out of darker syrup.
I didn't know. I have no idea. All I know is
You're not.
We
You have
check-
to. Your guys doing your sugar have to be testing that, Nate.
they
have
do.
to.
We test invert like usually
Yeah,
early
so-
season. I don't know that it matters if it's red maples, silver maple, sugar maple, but early season syrup typically has lower invert.
Yeah. So, who was what was the lady's name that was working with Tim Perkins through Cornell? She did a whole series on soft maple and put it on the Cornell's.
Well, Abby was University of Vermont.
Okay,
talking
I
about
think
Abby?
it might be Abby. She did a whole thing there on this, and people
on the
that-
soft maple.
Yes. Yep. You listen to that. Go and listen to that. That's on their Sap Talk podcast.
Yeah, I know-
Definitely.
I
Anybody
know-
would go.
She was definitely working on some stuff with the red maples, and we tap quite a bit. We got one woods that's predominantly red maple.
Yep. Mine are silver. I don't have a lot of reds. I have either blacks or silvers here.
You have
For the
black
most part.
maple?
I do.
Now their leaves look different.
Yeah. Yep.
They're like 3 lobes instead of 5, right? A black maple. When I saw a black maple for the
Yeah.
first time,
Yeah. They're closer to sugar. Yep.
yeah, they look a little different. So
Yep.
who is Carl? Speaking of guests, you should have Carl on here.
Yeah. I don't know who that is, Jeff.
Carl's Jr.? That's a burger joint. Yeah, I don't know who that
I've
is.
sent 3 guys for sure that I know to Jeff that have purchased the LED light strip.
That's pretty sweet. I had no
Dude,
idea.
I'm telling you, like I said, I stand right here. I can see everything. And Jeff just sent me. It's sitting over here. I don't even think I'm going to get to use it this year now because it's over. But I have a 2,200 gallon tank outside. That's my feed tank. I'm putting one in and putting the LED strip on the wall here, so I know where I'm at level wise there as well.
Interesting. Well, I'm done. It's been
Yeah,
a long
I get-
weekend.
Yep.
David, thank you, man. I appreciate
Well,
it.
thank
I
you,
like
Nate.
being able to talk maple with people.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
fun.
fun. I could do this all the time. So I'm going to try to do it
Okay.
every Sunday night, be consistent, and then have a guest on. I'll try to reach out to Nikki and see if she'd be interested in coming on and talking about, their season, what they've got going on.
Yep.
Jeff for sure, and try to get some guests on.
Yep. Perfect.
So thanks, Kevin, for being a moderator. Thanks, David, for jumping on and putting the cool background and making it mapley.
Well,
Like
like
my
I said, I was
kitchen
out.
is not exactly the maplest thing.
Yeah,
but-
well, I'd be in the house too, but I'm, like I said, wrapping up. We just flipped the switch. We're draining back pan. We're just in the middle of it, so it just worked
Yeah,
out.
that's a way cooler background than what I've got. So
There you go.
if it wasn't for you, this would not be as mapley. So
Whatever,
we'll
Nate.
catch you next. Well, we'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully, if Tim can
Yeah.
get it together. So thanks, David. Thanks, everybody. Have a good
See you
night.
guys
We'll catch you.
later. Oh man.